Hello, everyone. 2 p.m. Central European time, so I guess it's time to get started. Welcome, everyone, to today's webinar. My name is Vincenzo Tursi, and I am partner manager here at KNIME. The topic of today's webinar is related to automating hazard information extraction from safety data. Sorry, can you hear me? Maybe I can ask for confirmation about that.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I just heard something in the background. The topic of today's webinar is related to automating hazard information extraction from safety datasheets, and our partner Soluzioni Informatiche from Italy will be presenting the webinar. Therefore, it's my pleasure to introduce you to Andrea Ciacci and Remo Calabrese. Andrea Ciacci is chemoinformatic expert. He is working at Soluzioni Informatiche as application scientist, and he is involved on a number of projects, some of which are related also to KNIME. And Remo Calabrese holds a PhD in bioinformatics from the University of Bologna, and he has been working for Soluzioni Informatiche for the last 9 years. I won't take more time than this, and I will leave the virtual stage to Andrea. Thank you again, everyone, for joining today.
Thanks, Vincenzo. Okay. Just a few words about our company. Since Soluzioni Informatiche offer a range of service in scientific informatics, data science, consulting service, contract research and testing method, and act as a distributor of specialist software for life science. We have some brand in our company, and we are trusted partner of KNIME from some year. We can start with the topic of the day. So, automating hazard information extraction from safety SDS, safety data sheet. This talk is related to an innovation note that you can find in the KNIME web page, and also you can download the workflow from the KNIME hub. Just a brief summary. We revised some background of the safety data sheet and chemicals life cycle, but very briefly. Then we see what we have and can be automated with our workflow. Then the solution that we have implemented, a brief demo, and then the conclusion. So, safety data sheets. Safety data sheets are standardized document by which chemical manufacturer, usually as PDF at present, that complements each chemical substance. Manufacturer use the SDS to communicate chemicals hazard information to chemical handler. Safety data sheets typically contains many sections reporting chemical property, health and environmental hazards, protective measure, as well as safety precautions for storing, handling, and transporting the chemical. Chemical handlers that need to use SDS usually extract the information reading the section of interest. This is just an example of an SDS that you can find, for example, at Sigma Aldrich. You can see the identification of the product, some code, the CAS registry number, And in the first section, in other section, there are the pictograms of the label and some indication of danger, caution statement, and so on. That indication, that risk, that I called in the presentation as risk phrases. All that kind of risk phrases are what we try to capture from this kind of documents. You see that I apologize for non-Italian attendees. Okay, the webinar, of course, is in English, but the document is in Italian because usually actually the document, the SDS, need to be in the regional, in the country language, because every people that works about chemicals could need to read that kind of document. So also the setup of workflow was made using Italian SDS, but it was also for English document, and just little modification are needed to globalize the work. So, what's the chemicals life cycle? Usually, a standard one, of course, is usually scientists make a purchase request. So, a chemicals was buy, and upon delivery, chemicals. Upon delivery in the company, chemicals info must need to be inserted into in the proprietary database or inventory, or and so on. Usually, an inventory database. Chemical, the chemicals is then usually the label are printed, the container of the chemical is labeled, is placed in the stock room, and okay. After that, or at the same time, depending on the company procedure, SDS are retrieved, archiving, and it could be possible to update with the SDS the company database. I'm not sure that always or all the people or the company make all the steps. Once all the SDS information, and if the SDS information are updated and are inserted also, for example, an HS, an health and safety environment manager, could use that information for update the dangerous substance registry, or have an idea on how much dangerous compound are in the company. All the steps can be manual, because you can make by hand, and all the steps that we have seen. But you know, the less manual operation are required, the happier people are. So. What's the handling of chemicals? When all the previous steps are done, it begins the life of the chemical, the handling of the chemical. So people need to use the chemical, but before they need to find the SDS, gather the information, read the interesting section, because people have to be informed on how they are, on how they are handling it. So for this, in this way, regulation now from some year, regulation push company to gather this risk information, possibly not in paper format, because every people that deal with the chemical substance need to read this information. So finally, what we have automated? At the moment, we have no mention KNIME at all. So because so why do you need time? You really don't need, because you just need to find an SDS safety data sheet in a PDF format. Open with your preferred reader, find the section with, for example, the risk phases, copy and paste the records in your inventory. You have to close the document, and that's all. It's simply, and how much time do you spend? 2-3 minutes, more or less, of course. Oh, I forgot. You repeat the steps for every SDS you have in the company. Now maybe that you need a bit of help, because it's not impossible to do, but it's only extremely boring and only error prone, because you can make you can always make some errors. This is why this is the idea that guide us to automated test extraction. So what we have automated? Retrieval the retrieval of information from an SDS, a safety data sheet. So you have your PDF. You can you just click a couple of clicks, and from the PDF you have all the information like product name, case number, and all the risk code and all the phrases. For all the PDF that you need. I'm sorry. Okay. Also, what we have automated when you have KNIME all the data in a tabular format, in a non-tabular format, okay, you simply what do you want to do with this data, or with all this data? You need to inform the HSE manager for what kind of material, or at least for what material are, for example, cancerogenic or mutagenic. Okay, you need just a simple row splitter. You can make an Excel file and send to the person of interest. What can be automated? Okay, actually we have not in the workflow that we can find in the hub, because simply we have no for example an inventory database to update. But in the same time that you have the data in a structured format, you can simply keep 2-3 nodes and update your database directly from Okay, this what is the scheme of the workflow? Honestly, it's very simple. Just to make an interface to upload the file to process, and an interface to download an Excel file with the transformed data, extracted and transformed data. In between, just okay, we can say a lot of KNIME node that they extract product name, cast number, all the cast numbers that are in each PDF, all the risk code. After, of course, we have to manipulate the data in order to reorganize in a fashion that we can write in an Excel format. This is the workflow. So very simple, because the majority of nodes are, of course, embedded in metanodes, and we have used the try and catch error construct because, for example, for large amount of PDF processed, we could avoid that a single failure in read one PDF, because there is a risk that a PDF could not parse perfectly. We want to avoid that. If there was an error in one file, all the process could continue and could finish. The file not parsed are labeled, and at the end of the procedure, you can check if all your files are correctly processed. Some key points of our workflow is the Tika parser that we use. We make a large use for reading the PDF. The two-text mining node to transform the string in document, and after re-extract the single sentences in order to avoid that some PDF, to avoid that there are not to avoid error in the PDF formatting at the very beginning. And then we keep each risk phrases one by one, type by one type. I usually I'm used in all the workflow the terms risk phrase, but honestly the phrases are risk phrase with R code, safety phrases with S code, hazard statement, and precautionary statement with the H and the P code. In that part, we extract the cast number and the product name if available, or if they are parsable, of course. Just a brief live demo if all go straight, because there is I'm not. If I lucky, I hope. Okay, there is just okay. In that moment, of course, the system is initializing. Then the workflow is ready to start. Just click start. Then upload your file. Independently, you can use a single PDF file or an SDS zip containing, of course, I'm sorry, a zip archive containing more than one file. You can just upload and just wait, and waiting that the workflow finish. You can also, I don't know, take a coffee or read an email. But I have just 10. I have just 10 files, so it's not so long. There is the table that we have extracted. So each file name, the file name as identifier, product name, case number, code, and the indication if the compound is cancerogenic or not. And at the end of the table, you can simply click and download an Excel file with in this case, the more safety compound. Okay, just you, or the more toxic compound. You can see all the code, all the phrases. Of course, they are in Italian, but you can use also phrase in other languages, of course. And then the workflow is finished. So go back to the presentation. Okay, conclusion. Using this workflow, we have set up a full, at least in our test, of course, a full recovery of risk phrases in each document we have parsed. And during our test, we try to measure some the time consuming, of course, but with a standard PC, 1000 PDF file are parsed in less than an hour. So we have a significant time saving, and also saving of repetitive operations. You can use this workflow for batch processing. So you have a lot of SDS, and you have to process all the file you can make. You can use for a single SDS. You can use via web portal, as you can see, also via KNIME Analytics Platform, of course. What's a possible development? The first I have in mind is an update of the update of an inventory database. But I repeat, I have no inventory, so I don't make these features in the present world. I think that it's all. Yes. So thank you for the questions.
Thank you, Andrea, for your presentation and demonstration. Now we can start with the Q&A session. And let me remember you to use the Q&A panel to ask your question. If it is not possible to reply to some of your questions, no worries. We will do it later via email, and we will happy to hear from you if you needed additional information. Well, let's start with the first question for you, Andrea. And the first question is, will this workflow, this will work with other types of data sheets, such as certificates of analysis, or, for example, safety data sheets for food ingredients or food supplements?
Oh, I think yes, if you need to extract okay, this workflow is able to extract risk phrases. If you don't have risk phrases, you have to use a different workflow. But if you have risk phrases, you can use independently of the PDF.
Okay, excellent. Second one is, where are the example files located?
In the workflow folder. So if you download the workflow and run, it runs.
Okay. Another one is there a public web service where SDS sheet can be found and downloaded easily to be used with your workflow?
I don't know. I download one by one from Synology.
Okay. What is the frequency of false readings of the test strings from the code?
And
Nice question.
Okay, no. In my test, using SDS file in my test, I have found only risk phrases and all the risk phrases present. So I have not found risk phrases that are not in the SDS. It could be possible that for some reasons, because you are reading PDF, something in the process goes wrong, and then you have a label in the row that okay, I have no parsed the file, please control by end. But for recent SDS, it's not
Okay.
frequent.
Okay, thank you, Andrea. Then the next one is how easy is to adapt the workflow to other kinds of PDFs and information, for example, in technical data sheets?
I don't know how is make a technical data sheet, and it depends on I think that it depends on how on the kind of information you want to extract. But I don't know the content of a technical data sheet.
Okay. Another good one is how about extracting information contained in PDF tables?
There is no. I think I have not tried to exactly extract from a table. Usually, the row, the table format is maintained, but in that case, for example, we parse the whole document without check that there are tables present. So if you need an exact table, you have to look you have to pay very many attention.
Okay. Another question is where is the workflow?
In the KNIME app, or you just
no, I think that the question is where is the workflow on your system or in a possible in a deployment.
Okay, I have a KNIME server in my PC, and I put the workflow in this KNIME server. So as you can see, I use via web portal, but
and the workflow is if you look at the chat window, you can find the addresses of the KNIME workflow this workflow that can be downloaded, and the innovation note that we made about this topic. Okay. Let's see. Did you try other supplier other than Sigma?
Oh yes, but there are no problem.
Okay, and how many phrases did you have? 100?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure on the answer. I use for the phrasing the Italian phrasing. I use a list of some thousand of some hundred entry. There are all the R, S, P, H phrases, but I don't know exactly how many phrases.
Okay. This question was related to the previous one about the frequency of error reading. Okay.
Okay. No, but I don't know because I have just I have no statistics on error reading. On new SDS I have never see problem. Just on older one.
Okay.
We have some error in parsing, but completely impossible to parse.
Okay. Okay. Another one can be the workflow used by several people from different departments at the same time.
Oh, but using the web portal, yes, of course. If they have access to the web portal. Otherwise, they have to download each its work.
Okay, I think that if there are no more questions, we can close the Q&A session. And Vincenzo, over to you for final remarks.
Yeah, thank you, Remo, and thank you, Andrea. So I guess we can wrap up the session. Thank you, everyone, for joining this webinar. I guess we are going to send you the recordings, and the slides will be made available as well. You can also check the workflow and the innovation note that has been published by Soluzioni Informatiche already some time ago. Please refer to the links that Remo posted on the chat. And if you have any more questions, feel free also to reach out to us or to Soluzioni Informatiche. I guess maybe it might make sense for Remo and maybe Andrea also to share your email address in case anyone is interested in reaching out to you.
Okay.
Sure, Vincenzo.
Thank you again, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.